Yo, what up? Is this thing on? Hello, hello. How is everyone doing? Good, I hope. Just doing a little bit of work on the machine real quick before we get started. Just downloading deck lists from GitHub. So what that is it is basically a bunch of passwords and word lists for security testing, like usernames, pattern matching, buzzing, that kind of stuff. Discovery for like endpoints, API names, stuff like that. Pretty good resource if you're familiar with this kind of stuff. I also picked up Hashcat on this host, so I've got that set up. I've not messed with it, and I'm curious to see how well it works. I might demo that a little bit later if we get around to it. I want to show off pulling a hash from the pastdvd file and then throwing that into Hashcat and cracking it. So might demo that later. But I got that set up. Let me go ahead and get out of this directory. And so I've got a couple of shells that I want to demonstrate that I was able to get working on this thing. If those of you that aren't familiar, we have a... Is this thing still on? Did I break it? Whatever. What I've got going on is there's an enterprise time clock called Chronos. It's a K9000 or Chronos 9000. And I'm just kind of hacking at it, seeing what it does, and trying to put Doom on it. So my power cables are a little bit wonky. I ordered an OEM adapter for this thing, so I don't have to use these janky power cables anymore. Well, let that get powered on, and I'll go ahead and get one of my commands running to catch one of those shells, which is going to be this netcat listen on port 1337, and that's just going to set off to the side, and then I'm going to hook up our device and see if we can demonstrate some of these shells. Making it without turning it off on accident. Alright. Alright, so I've got this over here running. This is netcat listening on port 1337, and that's going to pick up our bash shell, reverse shell right here. And what this is effectively doing is I've got a script on this host modified so that when it boots up and runs a particular status script, it will also run my malicious bash command, which looks sort of like this. And that command reaches out to my host over here onto port 1337, and it returns a bash shell. So that's going to be the first thing that should happen, hopefully. This thing will take a little bit to boot up, and then once it boots up, we should see this pop up with a shell. Yeah, so that might take a little bit. It's not the world's fastest device, but the next one that I'll try to demonstrate is a bind shell. And bind shell is similar to a reverse shell, but instead of the target machine connecting back to my attacking machine, it's more like the target machine opens up a port and starts listening on its own port for a connection from my attacker machine. And that command sort of looks like this. I think it's the socket one. Let me double check. What's over here? SOCAT, sorry. So this is the command that we'll see when I demonstrate the bind shell. And I'll show you what that looks like in the actual script that it exists in later. So we're just gonna wait for this thing to finish starting up, and then we should see this connection being made. All right, so it looks like it's finishing. I'm just gonna ping it real quick. Oh, okay, you can see over on the left-hand side we've popped our shell. Yeah, and it looks like it's pinging. So if we come over here to this, I can type, who am I? Tells me that I'm root. I can list the directory that I'm currently living in. I can also run uname A and list out the kernel version and host that we're running on. You can see this is the host name of the thing that I set up, this time clock. So we've got ourselves a reverse shell, which is pretty cool. So now we can just play around on the live host. We run things like top, and we can look at all the processes that are actively running. But one of the problems with this type of reverse shell is it doesn't convey a lot of the usability of a full shell. So, for example, if I do Control-C to exit out of top, it actually closes the whole shell. So one of the things that you can do is you can set up a bind shell, or you can, I believe there's some ways to load the profile once the shell has been set up, once you actually get your reverse shell. But in this case, we'll actually have to reconnect to the reverse shell in order to get back onto the host. Thankfully for us, the script gets ran on occasion, so if we just leave this open and we let it sit there, it should reconnect. There we go. So profile stuff, I think you can dot source bash profile. I believe that should do it, if that actually existed. There it is, profile. The directory, yeah. See, we don't even have tab completion, which is kind of annoying. Oh, okay, so that isn't a directory. So we can source root /.profile, and maybe that'll give us some extra features in the shell, like if, let's try top again. Control-C. No, see, I think that's closing because the shell is actually part of the netcat process. So what we can do is I've gone ahead and set up a bind shell, and I can show you what that looks like from our attacking host with nmap. Oh, is my capture not working? Classic. There we go. So I fired up the netcat again to pick up that script, or that reverse shell when it runs again. But what we can do, since I've already got the bind shell set up on this host, if we run nmap and we scan this host, 192.168.1. What was it? 253. And we check. Let's just scan 1 through 10,000 ports, the first 10,000, and we'll see what that gives us. So we've got all these normal ports that are typically open on this host, like SSH, our TCP 80 and 443, and then our 9080, but we also have a 4444, and this is the bind listener that I set up. So let me go ahead and CD into RFF time clock, and I've set up a script to just rerun this command whenever I want, and this will connect to the port on this host and receive that shell. And so this is just the SOCAT file TTY, and it's got a couple flags, and we've got the host over TCP and port 4444. So I'll go ahead and run that, and we can see we picked up another shell. And I can run who am I and all that other good stuff. And one of the nice things about this is because SOCAT is actually pulling in a TTY, it can actually interpret some of our commands like Control-C and pass that back to the host. So I can run top and Control-C out of that and have some more flexibility with the shell. I believe I also have tab completion, so that's really nice too. So some very useful things to know if you're messing around with this is getting an improved shell with some of the extra features is nicer than just popping a reverse shell sometimes. But this is a great start, and you can use this to kind of peer into the file system and set up your bind shell. So in that case, what I did, let me go ahead and exit out of this one because I don't really need it anymore. I'm going to use this one instead. So the bind shell that I set up, I set that up under the init tab under the RCSD folder. So that's going to be under cd etc RCSD. And if I list everything in here, see, I believe I put it under our rip and tear script. Yep. So we can see these are some previous options that I tried when I was trying to set up the shells. And those were a bit tricky and didn't quite work through this script, but this one eventually worked. So I set this one up, and so whenever the system boots up and it goes through and it runs all of these startup scripts, it's going to run ours at the very end, S62 rip and tear, and it'll set up that bind shell listener. We can actually see that if we run top, we can see that that's running. We've actually got two of them, which I'm not too familiar with why, but I'm not too worried about it. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I thought that was fun. And that actually is very nice because now we can explore the file system while it's live. We can look at the running processes, we can look at the memory, we can start looking at like the temporary directory. We can see all this crap that's just hanging out in the temporary folder now, which we couldn't see before. And so now we can start to analyze some of the more ephemeral things about this host. So yeah, that's I thought that was pretty fun. What I'd like to do now is try to learn a little bit more about the frame buffer, which is what's actually broadcasting to the screen on the device. And so let me show you /dev FB is all of these frame buffers. So we've got FB, FB0, FB1, and I believe these are basically device links to the screen on the host. The reason why I believe that is because the native software that Chronos set up for this is using Opera Direct Frame Buffer right here. Opera Direct Frame Buffer to basically connect to a web server on the back end, which, do we have SS? No. Wait, netstat? Yeah. Ugh, a lot. So we can see, let's just do, we don't want UDP. We can look at all the listening services. So we've got this GOGI Opera direct frame buffer listening on 9080, port 9080, and this is effectively what's communicating to the screen, as far as I know. So I'd like to learn a little bit more about that, because if we want to run Doom on this thing, we're going to have some sort of display output, and I believe that is going to be what we need to do. Let's see. Another thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to set the password for some of these users. So, let's see. No. PC. We've got the RA user, and then we have the root user. So let's set the password for these, and then I want to try and SSH into them, and that'll give me even more of a shell that is fully complete, you know, all that good stuff. So we'll do passwd. All right, and then let's do passwd for the RA user. And then I believe I should be able to SSH into this host now. So SSH root at 192.168.1.253. And let's try that. Oh, nice, okay. Expectations were not met. Let's try the RA user. Oh, that one works. That's cool. I wonder why that is. We could probably check the SSH config to figure out why that's the case. So that's interesting. We've got more of a canonical device name, WinRiver Linux. We are in the RA user folder, right? All right, cool. Let's cat etc ssh config. Oh, permission denied. Okay, that's interesting. All right, let's go ahead and we'll leave this for now. Let's check the cat etc ssh sshd config. See what this looks like. There should be like a permit root login, or like a restrict to users. So permit root login is still enabled. Password auth is good. Oh, yeah, allow users, RA user. Okay. So let's go ahead and we have Vim on this host, or V is our editor. We don't have Nano, which is my preferred, but that's okay. So we will be etc ssh sshd config, and we'll come all the way down to the bottom. Allow user. Oh. Oh, we need to insert root, and then we WQ, then we can cat that again. All right, so and then let's is it sysctl? No, not sysctl. How the heck do you restart the RCS scripts? I think you can just call it, right? Yeah, restart. There we go. And so if you're on top again, go ahead and try to SSH into the root user. Hey, there we go. Cool. All right, so now we've got an SSH shell. We don't need to rely on our bind shell or our RER shell anymore. But we'll just leave it running just in case, you know, reasons. Because I don't know how persistent these changes to the file system are. I imagine they're pretty persistent because that's how I got the shell in the first place. But if we mess it up or whatever, have another option of connecting to this host. So I'll go ahead and exit that. Yeah, what up, Hank? It's a time clock. Like something you'd see at a company where they like keep track of, you know, how many hours you've worked or whatever, and so you clock in and clock out. It's an enterprise time clock called Kronos, the K9000. I'm trying to get Doom running on it. Speaking of that, I want to the OPT and I want to make a directory rip and tear. Rip and tear. I don't think Git is on here, right? No. Okay. I might have to SCP some files over there. I wonder if that's possible. Hello, hello. How are you doing, Dev Mindset? Let's go ahead and Mocha Doom somewhere, right? I took it off, I think. Alright, let's go ahead and disconnect that really quick and grab Mocha Doom. Mocha Doom is like a Java-based Doom. I'm reverse engineering a enterprise time clock in the efforts of trying to get Doom to run on it. We've got we got this thing right here, this Kronos K9000. Oops, I just shut it off. Oh well. Might have some really janky wires on the back to power it. But it's an enterprise time clock. You just keep track of how many hours your employees have worked and that kind of crap. And it's got a screen and a card reader, and I want to make it run Doom. So that's the gist. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Yo, what up, Hath? Not much. Mocha Doom. Go get Mocha Doom. We're going to clone this. Oops. I always forget to set the camera back. it's not very exciting. I'm just cloning Mocha Doom into a directory. And I'm trying this one because the host itself already has Java set up. It's got a whole Java environment going. So I'm curious to know if I can just straight up run this port on it and have it work for the most part. Just test out, I guess. And then I also want to see if I can get the frame buffer working so that the Doom actually comes across the screen. Because that'd be pretty pointless if you couldn't see the Doom, right? You can only hear it or something. I don't know. Okay, so we've got that, and I want to... there was another one. I think it was Doom frame buffer, right? FB Doom. Yeah, so plain desktop Linux frame buffer, which is what I think we need. Because like I mentioned, we have the of this dev/FB devices, which I think correspond to the screen itself. I'm not entirely sure 100% on that, but I believe that is the case. I will copy that one, and we will get clone. And we'll get that one too. Alright, so I'm going to reconnect the device. And go ahead and see if our host is responding. Once it starts replying back, then I should be able to connect to that SSH server. So we'll give it a second. Yeah, it's an ARM chip. It's a OMAP. Is it 3050 or something? I don't know. It's ARM v7. So I'm gonna have to. That's what I was kind of hoping that Mocha Doom would just. It seems like Mocha Doom you can compile specifically for the host that you're on, because it's Java. So I'm hoping that I can just do that instead of having to compile a version specifically for ARM v7 for this OMAP processor. But if that's the case, then we'll probably try to compile FB Doom for ARM v7. At least I think that's what I'm going to have to do. Not entirely sure yet, so. So it's up. Let's go ahead and I think we lost our shell over here. We'll go ahead and reconnect to it. All right. Yeah, so you can see running a OMAP and it's ARM v7. I don't think there are any build tools on this thing. I'm not entirely sure how to check for or what kind of build tools I'd be looking for. I can do like a find. Like make, I guess. Oh, what we're looking for. Yeah, so I don't think there are any build tools on the actual host itself. Which might make this tricky because we'll have to cross compile it if that's the case. And that's a whole nother can of worms. But it doesn't surprise me that this embedded device doesn't have build utilities, because you know it's an embedded device. Oh yeah, let me get some music going. There we go. Yeah, so I'm just going to poke around on the host a little bit, see if I can figure out what's up with the frame buffer. And then probably I wanted to try SCP and see if I can copy some files over to this thing. So let's try Mocha Doom. I'll copy Mocha Doom over to root at 192.168.1.253. And this is going to go... I'll just stick it under the root directory. Oh, I always forget. Is it a capital R or a lowercase r? That's interesting. Oh, it's not doing the directories. P. Okay. Let's try sending it over to OPT, like a different directory. Actually, real quick, did we get any of that? Yeah, we got some of it. That's tricky. Let's remove everything in the root directory. Oops. I think really I just don't want to get rid of the profile in the VNC. Let's see, CP, the profile, I'll copy that up a folder. Actually, just stick it in /temp. Oh, factory. Work. Disgusting. Alright, we got VNC and profile over there. Now I can feel more comfortable deleting everything under root, under the root's home directory. MR. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if I was going to delete the hidden files or not, but make directory, Mocha Doom, and let's try this again. Oh, that's what it is. It doesn't like the wiggly path or whatever, the home directory shortcut path. Let's see. Interesting path calculation failed. I wonder if we have, I guess SFTP would probably work too. And I don't know if I have SFTP on here. Let me see. I have not used SFTP in a while. Oops. Man pages. No man pages. Oh, jeez. How do we start the SFTP server? I don't know if we can just do Netcat over here, but I don't think we have Netcat over here. No. So I guess the idea is just take your files. Let's see, Mocha Doom. Okay. Rather than be SSH. Okay. So it'll typically go over SSH. Making it interactive. I say root 192.168.253. And then I think we can put files, put local to remote. All right, so put home RFF. Yeah. Time clock, Doom, put all of them there. And local is going to be OPT. Wait. I got that wrong. Rip and tear. OPT, no directory. Let's see. OSLA, OPT. Did I type it wrong? Oh, maybe I did do that backwards. Oh yeah, that's right, because I'm running it on, gotcha, okay. Remote is actually the time clock. On a regular file, let's see, so We need the R flag. Let's try that. Well, that didn't do shit. Okay. No path, no such file. Alright. Time to consult the internet. I wonder if this might be a, just like a version difference between SSH clients, because this is a very, very old host. Let's see, what was our one file first, you think? Okay, let's try it. Boo 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 boo. Do FB Doom readme. Yeah, I think it just doesn't like the directories. It doesn't like stepping through directories or something. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you, Hank. Hack it with tar. Do we have tar over here? Yeah, we got tar. Okay, cool. Yeah, wonderful idea. Thank you. Go ahead and do it over here. Let's see. Is X? X is for compress. This is NF. I don't remember the flags. Do. XF, list all files, create archive tar from, okay, CF, and then XF. Cool. Cowardly refusing to create an empty archive. Oh. Any specified directories, blah blah blah. Oh, I have it backwards. Jeez. Okay, now, SCP doom.tar. And we'll copy that over to root. opt rip and here. Oops, I did that wrong. Wowee! Yeah, great suggestion. Thank you. I always forget that archiving and packing stuff makes it so much easier to get it between hosts. Yo, what up, Tibet? We're working on hacking a enterprise time clock. This dude, little time clock guy. We're trying to get him to run Doom. So we got some shells going, and I got SSH access to it, so I'm copying some files over there to try and get Doom running. So we do tar, and then was xf doom.tar. It's in the future! I wonder if that's why all the timestamps are in the future. Okay. Guys are time traveling. Okay, so, we do build and run? I think that's what it, suggested us do. Oh shoot, I don't have network anymore. Oh, there it is. Thank you, cached web pages. Build and run, I could just also cat out the readme.txt. This builds Smoke Doom and runs it. Oh, I don't think I have the iWads. Maybe I do. Oh, we can try one of the demo WADs or something, that's fine. I don't know what any of these are, but whatever. So build and run, you can use it as such.buildandrun.sh, tac, iwad, boom2wad. We've got those under pwads. Build and run, .sh, tac, is it iwad? iWad, and pwads, just do lots of monsters. Java C command not found. Oh no! Probably should have checked that first, huh? Oh, gross. Oops. Oh, I'm looking under this folder. Good goober. It's goober hour. Nothing? Does Java not exist? What? Okay, so how the hell are they, Is it like web Java or some shit? Just like the not the Java that I was thinking of? No, it's not JavaScript. I'm just going based off the fact that there's a little Java logo on the damn boot up thing. And I saw some Java applications on the host. So we may end up having to go with the frame buffer Doom anyway. I guess is fine. I just don't know what I'm doing, so I think building it, like, I don't think we can, I don't think we can build it on the host itself, so we may have to do, like, we have to try this, cross-compile it. And I don't know if that's gonna work at all, so... Do I have make installed? Okay. I don't know if that's gonna compile it for the right ARM, but whatever. No target space. Specify no wake file. Wait. Oh, FB Doom, there's another folder. Haha. Yeah, I don't have the ARM Linux ECC. Let's try and disconnect from our time clock real quick and get some network back in here. We do a little bit of research and try to get a cross-compiled frame buffer Doom going. That might actually be a little bit ahead of ourselves. I don't know, whatever, let's find it. Let's see. I specifically make sure that it is E7. Okay, whatever. I'll just get GCC ARM and try that. What the hell was it? GCC ARM Linux. UAB. I'm trying to get Doom to run on a time clock. Right now I'm trying to cross-compile for ARM v7, which is something I've never done before. No. Quantum mechanics is definitely a lot harder. I wouldn't necessarily know how hard quantum mechanics is, because I don't do it. I mean, who knows? It might be really easy, right? UBIHF. There we go. Alright, this is running on a really shitty laptop sort of machine. Little small form factor. Oh, there we go. Now find LSDL. libSDL, is that libSDL? No, not Doom. Where are you? Ultimately, what I would like to do is have it so that you have to swipe a card, a key card on the time clock anytime you want to actually open a keycard door in the game. I feel like that would be really fun. So that's kind of like the end goal, the end state, is to have Doom running on this thing so that you can see it over the screen. You can interact with it either with the touchscreen or mouse and keyboard. Probably going to be mouse and keyboard just because touchscreen is kind of hard to implement, I think. I was looking up some versions of Doom that actually have touchscreen support, and they're all like Android based. So I'm not too I'm not too sure how well that would work. I know they're both Linux sort of operating systems, but there's a lot of things in the way and things that I don't know. Oh, see, I would lose my mind on integrals and linear algebra and stuff. I don't know. Math makes my brain hurt. I can code and program, but anytime it's like actually doing math on paper, ugh. Let's see. Debian lib STL. Is that a thing? What is the thing to apt search? Lib STL? VFX. I guess I just need libstl, maybe libstl dev, I don't know. apt install libstl. Do I need the full ass version and everything? Don't tell me. Okay, and we'll go ahead and try to compile this again, and it probably won't work. Okay, we're gonna have to search this up. Do a little bit of web surfing. Oh, you have to get the ARM version of it? No. Oh. Oh, I'm gonna have to build this for... No way, that's whack. Interesting. Yeah, I've never cross-compiled anything before, but from what I understand, it can be pretty complicated and annoying. Oh yeah, you got a beep 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 sound. You should look up the manufacturer, like if it's a Dell or whoever, whatever. Go to their website and look up what the beep codes, the post codes, POST post codes mean, and that'll tell you what kind of hardware it's complaining about, and then you can start there. That's a good way to go. How does this? I wonder if we can find out if there are any libraries that we can snipe off the host and use, maybe. Because I feel like that's what we'd want to do, right? Is use the libraries that are on the host to build or cross-compile for the host. But I don't know if that is ideal or not. Let's do lib. Yeah. Lib SDL. You're welcome. Yeah, hopefully that gets you close. That'll give you a good place to start usually. libSDL, and we want to redirect all of our... Thank you, Bobby. Redirect all of our errors to dev null, because we don't want to see them. And we don't have any libSDL. Oh wait, here, let's do this, because there could be different versions, right? What am I doing wrong? I guess we could just look for .so files, right? Okay, cool, and then let's actually pipe all of this to... juice libfiles.txt, and then that way we can go through and check out just the library files. Where we libfiles.txt. Okay. And then maybe this is what we gotta find. We gotta dig through here and find out what libraries we have to work with, and then find a compatible Doom version. I don't know. I've never actually ran Doom on something that is not just, you know, where it's natively ran at. So this will be my first. So what libraries does this actually need, though? Where's our frame buffer Doom? Go into FB Doom. I think we look for all the header files, right? Good God, that's a lot of stuff. What's our makefile got? What is GNU EBAI or whatever, HF? Thank you, somebody's already asking. EABI stands for compilation of code which run on bare metal ARM core. The GNU EABI stands for the compilation of code for Linux. GCC ARM Linux GNU EABI is cross toolchain package for ARM architecture. ARM HF architecture. What is ARM HF? Hard float. Hardware floating point support. Interesting. Package print architecture. Oh, that's interesting. I could probably do that. Hop around on the host and poke around on that. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna be real, that's a bunch of nonsense to me. So we got our output, and then it goes and it does linking. Or does it actually fail at linking FB Doom? It tries linking it to this library. see if we can get Debian. I'm pretty sure that's libstdl. Cross-compiling SDL. That might be useful. Yeah, so we may have to... I don't really want to do that. That seems awful. I mean, we may have to do that. I don't know. Oh, see, here's the direct frame buffer stuff. libdirectfb. I'm kind of curious how that works. Because I was seeing some of the code for the Opera frame buffer, Opera direct frame buffer was just kind of piping data to the devs /dev /fb file. Okay. Not really seeing anything in here. libsd. Oh no. libgl. libglib. Is libglib. Oh, okay. Maybe we can try that. The simple direct media layer, I believe this is what we need. It's releasing additional information. I wonder if we could just download the library. Let's see. Are you singing in my chat? Is that what's going on? Can I just download the release built for ARM? Oh, you got a release built for ARM. That's STL3. That's so new. I don't even know which STL version I need. What does this thing need? Okie dokie. Wrong terminal. It's like the Timu of architecture. That's funny. Yeah, I wish I knew more about it. Because there's a lot of embedded stuff that uses it. Yeah, I wish I knew more about RISC-V. Well, you call it RISC-V or RISC-V? Yeah, I need this library, this STL library. But I don't know if it needs to be compiled for ARM or not, or if I can just do get the Debian version of it. Yeah, that's a good point. Here, let's try ARM E7? No. Console that can be added to any SQL application. Maybe I just need this one. It looks like it comes with ARM HF. Which is the hardware floating points, I guess. And that was kind of what it was trying to compile with initially, FB Doom. Yeah, it is and it isn't. A lot of people just use Linux because they like it, and then there's some people that get real, like, political hoo-ha about it. Like me personally, I really don't give a shit what you use as long as it gets the job done right. I do have some opinions about, you know, open source drivers and everything, but I've kind of changed over the years. I used to be a real big proponent of open source software, but nowadays it seems to be more the case where, like, large companies that have enormous resources at hand will utilize open source software and not actually contribute back to it, or, you know, pay the devs that do the shit in their free time. And so I'm starting to think that more and more that having a more permissive license, but an actual license instead of just straight open source, is better. Yeah, I like Linux. Linux isn't better than any of the other operating systems. They're not all, like, there's no great operating system that beats all of the others. It's just an OS. The tool. It's like saying your Makita drill is the best drill. No, it's just a drill. Yeah, let me just try getting that lib SDL, the GFX. Let's get this one. Yeah, but see, that's the thing, is people like to have opinions. And so people who use computers also have opinions. Unless you want to be like Project Farm and literally, like, test every single tool in like a one-to-one or like head-to-head competition and be extremely objective about facts, you literally just have opinions about the stuff. So unless you're getting real scientific, it's all just opinions at the end of the day. At least that's what I believe. Oh sure, yeah, definitely. But you don't know how accurate somebody's opinion is unless you know how educated they are or how knowledgeable they are. Exactly. Like, some people have an opinion that the Earth is flat, but, you know, based on everybody's conventional knowledge, it's not, right? HF. Try that one. Oh, do I not have, Let's get the HF one, because it wants HF. Is it GCC, ARM, Linux? There we go. Get this installed. We'll try the HF hardware floating point. I think SteamOS is cool. I like what Steam is doing to like put pressure on game studios to support Linux, and then I also like how they're making it so that they don't have to fully go in with Linux support, and instead they can do mostly Windows, and then Steam will have like that translation layer and the Proton support that they provide. So it's nice. Like that's the kind of thing that I was talking about with open source. Is oftentimes you have huge companies with amazing resources at hand, and they don't really contribute back to open source. But Steam does that with Proton, and they do that with Linux gaming. They contribute back to open source, and they provide their research and their code and examples and everything back to the community so that everybody can benefit from it. Not to say that big companies don't do it, because Steam is obviously doing it, but yeah, it's still gonna complain about libstl. Okay, so I need to. What is the difference between libstl and libstl GFX? But I didn't see just a libstl. What about this one? Libstl. Oh, is this it? Libstl. That's probably it. Let's get that one. I don't know, maybe if I install every package under the sun, it'll start working. That's how Linux works. Nope, still nothing. RIP? That is libstl, right? Does your dad know you're a gamer? Bruh. Debian, cross, compile, libstl. I wonder if there's an OMAP toolchain. Debian OMAP. I mean, it's not gonna. I don't think that's gonna like super help, because they still need the library to build this version of Doom. That's what it is, at 3530. I thought for a second, this said, assuming your cross-compiler lives in Australia, like AUS. Best map? Not sure what you mean by map. PowerShell profiles are pretty good though. Just throw a whole bunch of stuff you've defined in there. Pretty nice. Or is that, you talking about like a persistence method? See, this is all for, this isn't for make, I don't think. I do not know. Yeah, I think I might, move on to the next thing that I wanted to do and do a little bit more research on this, because I really don't feel like digging around with libraries and trying to cross-compile some crap for 2 hours and then it not work. So I'll mess around with that off stream. I think what I want to do is demonstrate doing some password cracking. I'm curious to know how well this host that I'm running on is good at cracking passwords with Hashcat. So we'll try that out and see what that does. So real quick, let me take a break. I think I've been going for a little bit. I gotta go to the bathroom and I want to grab some more coffee, so I'm gonna take like a 5 to 10 minute break and I'll come back and we can do the Hashcat stuff that I wanted to demo and see if we can get working. Even show up well? No, it doesn't even show up well. Whatever. There we go. Alright, let me take a quick break, and I will be back with y'all in a couple minutes. Yo, what up? Alright, I am back. Got more coffee. And can try doing some password cracking. So I'm gonna pin these real quick. Oops. Pin tab, not duplicate. And then what was it? Bind shell. So cat. This is one that I was using. We'll pin that too, just in case. And then let's go to Hashcat. Let's check out Hashcat. Hashcat is the GOAT. If you guys have never used Hashcat before for password cracking, highly recommend it. So what we're gonna do is pull some hashes from this host and try to crack them. So I've already gone ahead and set up. Let me get this reconnected. This host, the time clock. Oops. Oh, thank you, Hank. There we go. Always forget. I need like an alarm that blares. Laxin. Alright, so we're gonna make a directory. And cd into cracking. And we're going to connect to our host really quick. Alright, so typically on a Linux system, especially old Linux systems, you're going to have your password hashes stored in your etc passwd file. So it's going to be under etc passwd. And typically this file is owned by root. And it is also world readable. On older systems, the issue with the etc passwd is that it is world readable. So in this case, if I was a different user, like say su ra user, so now I'm ra user and I wanted to like grep through or print out the contents of the etc passwd file, I can do let's see, cat etc passwd, and it's going to show me everything that's in here. And why this is an issue is because on older systems, the general practice was to store your password hashes in this file, but nowadays these hashes can be cracked easily, and so you don't want to store them into like a world readable file. So on more modern systems, we've got etc shadow. Oops. And this one is generally not world readable. So you can see that this one is only readable by the root user. So on a more modern Linux system, you can typically expect to see password hashes stored under the etc shadow file. On older Linux systems, it's a toss-up. Sometimes it's both. Sometimes it's etc passwd or it's etc shadow. But if they're in etc passwd, the cool thing is that it is world readable, and you can, if you are stuck on a constrained user, like say for instance this RA user can't really do sudo commands or something, or elevate their privileges, then what you can do is you can dump some hashes out of that etc passwd file, and then you can crack them to log into another user and elevate your access. So, in that case, what we're going to do is we are going to cat out or grep. Nice, we have like full grep on here. Cool. So we're going to grep I for insensitive, and we're going to do root. And we're going to get this from etc passwd. And so you can see we've got a hash right here. We've got a root user. In this folder, the contents is basically like kind of like a comma separated values file, but it's colon, so it's like a colon separated values. So we've got username on the left column, and then we have our password hash. So we can see this other one that came back with my grep find doesn't actually have a password. Instead, it's got like an X right here for the second value, and that indicates that you can't log into it because it has no password. It's typically like a service account that gets used by services running on the host to go to a different UID or GID. But in our case, what we want to do is we want to grab this hash. I'm going to copy that out, and then I'm going to clear out of this one. Let's see. CD cracking, and we're going to now hashes. And I'm going to stick this over here. Oops. And that's going to be our hash. And I believe this is going to be an MD5 hash. So when we use hashcat, what we'll want to do is identify the type of hash that it is, and specify that when we go to crack it. So in this case, go ahead and man hashcat. It should tell us all the different hashes that we can do. So we've got a number value that corresponds to the type of hash. I believe these are just going to be MD5 hashes. This one, MD5 crypt, which is for a Unix host. I shouldn't have to, Hank, because I've already set this password to something simple. So I'm hoping that it'll just be kind of a quick demonstration of how to crack something with hashcat. You could though, and you generally want to. But this is like a very simple, like 5-letter dictionary word. So let's go ahead and try our MD5 crypt. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna leave this open because I want to keep the flags because I'm gonna forget them quite often. So we've got to specify our hash type with, I believe it is TACM. There's probably examples. Yeah, M is hash type. And then we've got our attack mode, which we'll have to specify. Generally, doing like a hybrid mode is good. That's kind of like word lists with rules, like modifier rules. So here's the typical command line. M500, and we're going to specify our hashes file, hashes M500, and then our attack mode is going to be hybrid. Let's see. Attack modes, hybrid word list plus mask. So we're going to do, actually let's just do straight first. Let's do straight attack mode. We'll try that real quick, see what that gives us. And so that one will need a word list. And let's go to this window gets so large. There we go. Under tools, we've got sec lists, and then what do we want? It's looking for RockU. I don't know where RockU is in this folder, so Be nice if I didn't disconnect my keyboard. Alright, look for RockU, which is a pretty classic password list. And I believe there's a handful of these, so it's under leaked databases, RockU. I believe this one, it's a number of candidates that it has. Let me check. Leaked databases, and then RockU. I wish it would make the text larger. I don't know why it does that. So 5, 10, Rocky 15, 20, this. Yeah, so that's like a handful of candidates. And then, let's see, it should get progressively larger. This one, 467 kilobytes. I think this is all of them. All of the candidates. There was like a new Rocky that came out not too long ago with some like, I don't know, somebody was like, it's the best Rocky, but it's like 40 gigabytes. And I thought that was really funny because to me that defeats the purpose of RockU. RockU is supposed to be like a catch-all. These are the most common passwords. Where did my terminal go? Is it Rocky 75? Yeah. So copy that path over here. Oh no, wait. I already have it. Passwords, leaked databases, RockU 75. Text. And let's run that, see what it does. Oh, errors out. No hashes loaded. Separator unmatched. Oh, do you have to, Dude, how do you set up the... Your hash files, I forget how those have to be configured. I think you just need, like, the header for it? I don't think I have the header for it. Like hash type and then colon hash or something. Or does it just need the new line at the end of the file? We'll figure it out, 1 second. Yeah, separator unmatched. Okay. Let's see. Oh, am I specifying them wrong? At the end. Yeah, I think the password list candidates and then dot hashes. Oh no, I definitely got that right the first time. Oh yeah, you do have to format the hash file in a particular way. Oh yeah, I've got to put the... Let me show you the example hashes. Go to, where is it, example hashes, do. Okay, I'll just search for it. Example hashes, here we go. And it may not be MD5 crypt, it may just be something even worse. Maybe MD5, no. What's it look like? So this is sometimes the tricky part about cracking passwords, is figuring out what the damn hash is to begin with. Oh, is it this? Oh, it's so old. It's Descrypt. I think that's what it is. 1500 Descrypt. Okay, I think we need to change our hash type to 1500 because it's that old. There we go. Okay, so now it's running. It should go through and set up the backend with all of our candidates. And then we should see it start cracking, or attempting to crack this password. Yeah, it's not a very good CPU. So I'm curious to see how well this works. Normally you want to do this stuff on a GPU. Alright, and didn't get it with that, so we may need to go to like a different dictionary. So we tried RockU75. Let's go ahead and look at the other databases that they have. Because we could try some regular like dictionary word lists. Checklists, let's do... Dictionary. I wonder if they've got like English words here. Language English, here we go. I believe this is what we want. 3.5 megabytes of English words. There we go. Where is this one? Sec lists miscellaneous. Okay. Try that. Alright, so let's run through all of the English language words. Let's see, all hashes found is, yep. Did it just get it? No. Oh, did it already get it? Oh, it did. It got it with the first one. Okay, here we go. I'm dumb. I missed it. It was so fast. It was so fast that I already got it. Okay, look at that. So, we cracked our password. Looks like the password is robots. Oh, that's fun. That's such an easy password. Wow. That was way easier than I thought it would be. And just for future reference, once you crack a password in Hashcat, it will refuse to do it again, just to save the cycles. And if you want, you can do Hashcat show. Oops. Do this and show, and it'll spit out all the hashes that you've already gotten. You can also check your pop file, which is under your home directory. So you can cat hashcat. Oh, I guess it's just pop file. No? under config? Maybe this version doesn't have it, but sometimes they'll stick it under a .pop file. You can run a find command. Yeah, really fast for 6 characters, and that's kind of the fun part about RockU, and why it's so good is that it's the most commonly used, easy to crack passwords. But what we can do is we can demonstrate like putting some numbers on the end and like using some rules to modify it. So let's do. I wonder how I can actually set up the descrypt. And 10 years ago. I wonder if OpenSSL will let me actually use descrypt. I don't think it's even a thing. Like modern Linux versions, I don't even think have that method of encryption. Oh yeah, here we go, DES. Let's just do DES, and that should give us the same, who's it? I just want a really shitty DES password. I could also just put it on the host again. Or here, let's go ahead and try the other one that we have. Because we can grab the RA user password. I already know this one, obviously. I know both of them, but... Ooh. Alright, so let's take this one. And we'll stick it into the same folder. Is it under here? Yes. Oh, hashes, and stick it down here. Boop, boop. And let's see if we get that one with RockU as well. Probably not. I imagine this one might be a little bit worse off. Yeah, so this one, the approaching final key space, workload adjusted, recovered 1 out of 2. So it did not get that one. So let's go ahead and try it with language English. See how long that one takes to run through. Wow, that was pretty quick too, but didn't get it. Okay, so let's try doing some hybrid cracking. And in order to do that, we'll need some rules, some rule files. Let's go ahead and grab some of those really quick. See if we've got, we could search for these. I don't know if Seclist has rules. On rule. No, I don't want pattern matching. Okay, so for rules, I like to use best 64. So let's go ahead and grab that. Let me get this reconnected. I need to finish messing with the router config so that I don't have to keep disconnecting the WAN when I have the target hooked up. So best 64 rules. Alright, what we're gonna do is download this. Where you at? At you. RFF, tools. I don't know. Why does Seclist not have like best 64? Maybe it does. No, that's just common credentials. What? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Whatever. Okay, so we'll just leave that there for now. And then let's take this, the English language, and we're going to change, modify our attack mode to a hybrid. It's going to be 6. And let's show you that real quick. So our core attack modes, we're going to use hybrid, which is this one. Kind of gives you a good example where you provide a dictionary on the left-hand side and some rules on the right-hand side. I believe... No, I'm sorry, I need to do rule attack because we're using rules, not a hybrid. Oh, I'm sorry, you can use rules to replace the brute force side. So instead of specifying kind of like a character space, like this is any a digit or numeric character, instead of specifying that, you can just pass a rules file. So I believe with rules, go ahead and do, we've got 6, so we'll have the text, the word list on the right, and then we will do best 64 rules, and I think that'll work. We may need to do attack R. Or not. Let this do its thing. It's going to think about it for a second. And what this is doing is it's going through and it's taking these words in the word list and it's appending things to the end and manipulating them with the rules. And it's going to go through and try that for all sorts of combinations until it finds it. Did not find it this time. Oh, you know what? That's because I'm doing it wrong. Does not need to be a hybrid. It needs to be what, 9. We need to do a rules attack. Yeah, exactly. The question mark is like a separator. So there's a whole category of values, like patterns that you can make. In the wiki, they've got like a list of all these patterns. I think it's part of the rule engine. Rules are a little bit different, because like if we look at this rule file, the contents of this is kind of goofy looking. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It's kind of esoteric, but it's got some good comments in here. So this is what it's doing, is it's appending a number. So if we go and we look at this $0 in the docs, we can see that $sign represents end of string. So where is that? Where's the $sign? Yeah, here we go. Append character X to end. So we've got $sign X. And so that'll stick a 0 onto the end. And so that's just an example of one of these rules. So it'll take every word in that word list and it'll manipulate it with this rule and try that as a candidate. So that's what we want to do. I believe it is 9 to do that. And then specify our rules file. Let's see what this gives us. Oh, do I need, is it 0? Where are the attack modes? Oh, association attack. No, I need 0. Dictionary with rules? Where is it? Yeah, nobody does a mask attack. Oh yeah, these are the masks. This is what you're talking about with the question marks. So here's the built-in character sets. What you're seeing is like this one, question mark D, refers to the entire character set of all the numbers. And then you've got like U for uppercase letters, L for lowercase letters, and so you can build basically patterns for this kind of thing. And then you can just specify them in like a file and then pass that to your command as well. And so the idea is, instead of back in the day, what you would do is you'd kind of go through and you get like a big old word list and you just brute force and try every single combination. This is kind of like an improved brute force where you make patterns to kind of narrow down your key space. So instead of brute forcing, like say every password, every combination of password for every character for a like a 10-digit or a 10 character password, which would take forever, you can instead say, hey, I want a max length of 10 characters, but I know that they're only going to use alphanumeric and they're going to put a special symbol at the end and they're going to do such and such. And so that kind of lets you narrow down the key space and make your attacks faster, which is especially helpful as your password gets larger, because the more characters in your password, the harder it is to crack in general. I want to use rules though, not masks. So I'm getting lost on that. Where are my rules? Oh, our option to A0. Okay, cool. Alright, so you set the attack mode to 0. And then you specify your word list like normal. And then you also do attack R to specify your rules. So we're going to run this again, but we're going to manipulate every candidate with every rule in that file. So we can see that we've got a per and kerner, and it's manipulating those with the rules. Let's see if it actually got it. Nothing? Nope. Okay. So here's another one that's kind of fun to do, if that doesn't work, is I like to combine dictionaries together. So like sometimes what people do is they'll use multiple words. They'll use like 2 words as password. And so I like to take the same dictionary and double it up and have it so that you have every combination of every word next to each other. So let's try that one. I believe we can do that with a hybrid attack. Combining word lists plus masks. Or do I need to actually, I think I need to use rules to emulate a hybrid attack. Let's see if I can just do that real quick. Because I want to do dictionary on both sides. I believe last time I did this, I had to run the dictionaries through... Oh no, wait. There we go, yeah. Hack mode 1. 2 dictionaries are combined. Each word of a dictionary is appended to each word in another dictionary. So this is what we want to do. So it is a attack mode 1 combinator. And then instead of a rule file, we're going to specify our dictionary again. So we're just going to do the same dictionary once on the left side and once on the right side. And we'll do that. Alright, so that's going to roll through. Hopefully this will be pretty quick compared to the others, and I believe this one should crack it. Yes, exactly. That's why you don't use dictionary words and passwords. Or if you use dictionary words and passwords, use like a bunch of them. Use like 12 dictionary words. That way your key space is like 40 characters. And then mess them up a little bit. Alright, so it's working its way through it. We're actually getting 1 mega hash. 1 mega hash per second on this tiny CPU, which is not crazy bad. Let's see our progress. We are 0.09% of the way through, so that is not good. Let's go back to, because we got it with the RockU. Let's try RockU instead of the full language or full English dictionary, as RockU is a lot smaller and that will reduce the attack time. We'll do RockU. 75. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the right hand side. Oops. Yeah, it is. It's definitely better to make your own words, especially if you know who you're targeting. Like I could definitely just go in and make a text file with like the password or with the word candidates that I know that the password is, because I've set this. This is more of like a demonstration of how you can mess around and manipulate with your or manipulate your dictionaries in a way to get something when you don't know what the real password is. Wow, that is gonna take a while. Hello, kitty cat. Hi. Yeah, so that is gonna take its sweet time. The CPU is not the quickest. But you can see how it's like Beyonce's September, how it's combining these words together. We got like Beyonce was one of them, and then September is the other. So Hashcat's pretty dope. I really enjoy using it for password cracking. There's a lot of strategies that you can use to make it better, but really it's knowing your target and how they like to formulate passwords. Because if you think about it, a lot of people like to adhere to patterns. You've kind of conditioned people to make bad passwords, like taking like the name of your dog and then capitalizing the letter and then replacing some of the letters for numbers and putting a special character at the end in order to meet like some arbitrary password requirement. When in reality, the best way to make a password is to just make it really long. So as long as it's memorable and it's really long, you're good. And it doesn't even have to be memorable if you use a password manager. Alright, so that's going to take a little bit. I'm curious how long it would take to run through if we did a hybrid attack, or instead of rules. Is it 6 or 7? 6, 7. I want to put this on the left. No. Back, yeah, mask attack. 2. Here we go, hybrid attack. So this one puts the mask on the left, dictionary on the right. So let's go ahead and a 7. And what we're going to do is, let's do all lowercase. What was that? Question mark L, question mark L, question mark L. And then let's do rock you. Oh, it's under passwords, leaks to databases. RockU 75. And let's try that one. Let's run through that. So what this will do is it'll append every lowercase letter 3 times in front of our password candidate. So it'll iterate through all of those candidates. So they'll do like ABC, Word, FOO, word. It'll do every combination of a lowercase letter. See how fast this one runs through. Runs actually considerably quicker. So let's run through this. We'll let this one run because I know this will crack it. You can see our candidates. Cameron 1, and then we're adding DCO to the beginning, VYL, AWE, NXC, MIL. Alright. Yeah, we'll let that run through. That should be done in a little bit. We can let it run and do some other stuff if we want. Another fun thing about password cracking is, especially when you're pen testing devices, you can turn on a password crack and then just let it run while you go and do other stuff, and let the computer try to crack the password for you. In that case, while we let that run, I did want to see if I could demonstrate some privilege escalations, which can be kind of fun. We don't have to because I've already got root access to this thing, but it is fun to kind of mess around with them and just practice on a host that you're unfamiliar with. So what we'll do is, I'll go ahead and get the device connected up again. And password cracking can be completely done offline. So I'm not connected to the network at all, or at least the internet. And we've got all of our candidates and our masks and everything and our hashes all locally, and you just let it run. So that's One of the fun things and also scary things about password cracking is it can be done completely off the network. So what a lot of attackers will do is once they get a password hash, they'll go really quiet and they'll just sit there and crack it, and then come back with a password. Let's go ahead and SSH. Oops. SSH into our RA user. Okay. And so now that we've got our RA user, I don't think we can do sudo. We might be able to do sudo. Sudo L, that should list what we have. Okay, so yeah, there we go. I mean, that was the easiest privilege escalation ever, right? So you could just run sudo, and because this user has access to run all the commands on the host, then we can do that. So let's go ahead and make a user. User add, but no. How do they make a user on the on this host? It's such an old version of Linux that I think they were just adding it to the thing. Oh, add user. Okay. And no, it's not root 123. I've already gone and changed the password to something different. And it was never root 123. I tried that initially and that never worked. So let's go over here. Oops. Add user. The D is don't assign a password, don't create a home directory. Let's see, we want to sudo add user. I don't know, let's see. Script runner. I don't know. Not root. Just do not root as our user. And yes, don't assign a password. I think that's all we need. Because we want a home directory. And password for not root, we're going to set up as password 123. Really easy password, don't worry. Okay. And now let's see if we can log in as this user. Oh, I need to add them to the SSH config. Oops. There we go. We want to insert, so we type I, and then space, not root. So we're going to add our not root user. Then we're going to hit escape to get out of insert mode, colon, WQ, exclamation point to write and quit without confirmation. And then we want to sudo etc rcsd, what is it, S61, not SSHD, restart. We're going to restart our SSHD service. Now we should be able to log in. Oh, hey, did we get it? Hey, look at that, we got it. So that's not too bad. It got 10% of the way through the candidates, and then it cracked it. So it's pretty good. Not too bad. And all we did is we took our dictionary and we appended every combination of every lowercase letter 3 of those to the front of the password, and we let that run through and it cracked it. So now we know that the password for the RA user is not robots. So that's pretty fun. Now let's go back to logging in as our not root user, and then we can try to demonstrate some privilege escalation. Alright, cool. So we're logged in as not root, and what we can do is we can do like sudo pack L and see if we can list our sudo privileges. And so it gives us, sorry, user not root may not run sudo on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in this case, if we wanted to like cat out etc shadow, it's going to give us permission denied, and we're not going to be able to because we don't have access to it. So one of the better ways to do that is to try and find a privilege escalation. And what we can do is we can look for, personally I like to look for SUID bins, SUID bins. And a SUID bin is basically a binary that has the SUID bit set, and what that'll do is if you call that binary with a particular command, it'll maintain the privileges of that binary as it runs, and sometimes you can do like a shell escape from there, which is pretty fun. I think it uses dpackage. Or not. Because it was installing RPMs. RPM is dpackage, right? Or is it just RPM? I guess it's just RPM. I thought it was dpackage or something. I don't know. I could be. Is dpackage Fedora? But yeah, it uses RPMs. At least that's what I've seen so far. So that's actually not a bad option for doing our privilege escalation. So let me get the command to find SUID bins. I think it is find. We'll do a search. Type is going to be F, and then I think it's how do you do permissions? I'm gonna look for things that are SUID bin set. Oh, it's the perm flag. Pack perm. And then you can do actually up for alright, so we can specify kind of like canonical group permissions with a /. We want which one is it? We're looking for the SUID bit. Oops. There we go. Perm tac 4000. I think should do it. Alright, so we're going to search over the full file system, and we're going to look for those that have the permission bit set, the SUID bit. Hey, what's up, Dalosu? How are you? So we've got a couple. I don't know if any of these are actually going to be super useful. We've got cron tab. What's that one? ls la user in cron tab. And that's set up as root. So if we run cron tab, we might be able to shell escape that. You're not allowed to use this program, cron tab. See cron tab for more information. Ooh. That's tricky. And sometimes there may not be a easily accessible suid bin on the host. So this might be a challenge. Might not be, but it also might be a challenge. Let's look at our busy box. Oh, I think maybe I actually need to, I think with a suid bin I have to be added to sudo elevate for particular applications or files. Interesting. It's been a minute since I've done this, so. What do we have? We just run busybox sh. Oh, still not root. Okay. Now, do I need to tac P? Oh, illegal option? Well, you got me there. That is illegal. Alright, so we can also check and see what kind of files we have that are accessible in our etc folder. That's always also a good way to find a privilege escalation. For example, if we have some startup scripts that are available in etc for us to manipulate, we could potentially put a shell in there and have that launched under somebody else's permissions, namely root. So we can try that out. Yeah, the shell police. Illegal! I'm gonna get arrested by the shell police. So let's run a find command. Do it under etc. Type is going to be file. And perm is going to be, let's see, anyone, right? I want everyone to be able to, oh wait, there we go. A, yeah, /a plus w, do it, /a plus w. Wait, an argument to type. Alright, whatever. Oh, invalid mode. Am I doing this wrong? Obviously I'm doing it wrong. Is it, 7? No. Could just look it up on the internet. Find. So what we're gonna look for is world writable files. Oh, it's O, not A. What is A? Still giving me invalid mode. How dare you? There we go. Okay. Not a slash. So let's look under etc for anything that is world writable. I'm going to take the errors, type them to dev null. So this is kind of what we have. Let's double check these. We got etc fonts. These cron tabs are interesting. I wonder if you can do a privilege escalation through these. Probably not. Those don't look like shell scripts. Wowee. That's a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's obviously going to be a lot of world readable stuff. What is the best way to privilege escalate? I guess that's kind of the tricky part about privilege escalation, is there's like a bunch of different ways to do it, but which one works is the question. Python has capabilities. We can check for netcap. We could just set a suid bit on something just to demonstrate it, or give myself access just to demo a suid ID or suid elevation. So if we do like a sudo sudo. Oh, I'm so dumb. Sudo or editor equals v and then the sudo. No? Bruh. Why is it looking for the path in there? That is annoying. Because I'll just log in as the root user, whatever. It's gonna do it again. Equals bin v. There we go. Okay. Jeez. So we're gonna come down here and we're going to set a insert, not root. All equals. We want make sure that we're doing this right. We could do this one, command alias software RPM. I think RPM is a, we do a suid bin with RPM. Let me double check. No. A suid bin with Python. I think you could do it with less. That's a funny one. All right, let's see what that does. Okay, now we can run less. It's sudo. This is a little bit different than a suid bin. I guess this is just a sudo privilege escalation and not a suid bin. A little bit different, but we can run sudo less, and then we'll pick a file. I don't know. etc hostname. Do I have to specify? We put it in parentheses, it gives us might be wrong. I think that gives us full parameters for it. No, yeah. Edit. No. What? That is it, edit. Alright, we'll exit without changes to it. Yeah, it's not particularly fun. I do it just to demonstrate, but kind of boring. But whatever. So let's say, for instance, our not root user had the ability to run less etc, and then they could run anything, I guess. I think that's how the sudoers file syntax. Yeah, then if you specified a full path to an executable, it will let you do it with any arguments. Yeah, I was almost certain if you just specify the full path to the thing, it'll let you do it. Oh, do I need to exit? I think I need to exit because the permissions are, not set for this session. Oh, man. Is my caps lock on? What's going on? Oh. I'm just typing the wrong password like a goober. Okay, so let's maybe do that now. No? Sudo L. Oh, that's funny. Okay, it's because it's not even there. I'm so dumb. Alright, let's fix this. Under the user folder, not under bin. Type for insert mode, user, bin, less. Right, state WQ. Now if we do oh, now it says user bin less now. I bet you we can do. There we go, and so we can see our host name. Cool. And the trick with that is since we're running it with sudo, and one of the things that you can do with less is execute commands. So if we do man less, oh, it's not going to show up, but do man less, and we look at this, what we can do is we can, within the less pager, we can call other binaries, and in this case we're going to call a shell. That should give us a unrestricted root shell. So in order to do that, I believe the command for that is exclamation point. Let's see. Alright, so within the shell, followed by one of the command line options, this will blah blah blah. Here we go, shell command. So invokes a shell to run the shell command given a % sign, and the command is replaced by the name of the current file. Blah 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 blah. So essentially what we can do is from within our less pager, so if we run sudo less etc hostname, we can do an exclamation point and type, sorry, or not. Oh, I wonder if this is a different version of less. Hmm. Oh god, I'm stuck in V. I knew this would happen. It's because you're running it with sudo. And one of the side effects of running things as sudo is that it elevates the binaries privileges to sudo, or to root. And then from there, if you launch anything from that binary, the permissions should maintain. But I broke that one, so let's try this again. I don't know why that broke. That's interesting. Oh, did I just break it? Oh, okay. I'm dumb. Alright, we'll try this again. So, SSH into not root. So, for example, if we do sudo L to list our sudo privileges, like what we're allowed to run with sudo. So, like on a properly configured Linux server, if you want to delegate root access to particular users for doing something, you know, specific, like say, I want you to be able to like cat out the host name or something like that. You can run that with sudo so that you don't have to set the hostname file to, you know, somebody else's permissions in order to let them do it. And in this case, because the less application or the less binary allows you to run other stuff from within it, you can run shell commands. All those shell commands are going to maintain the same privileges as root. So let's see if we can, we'll do colon and exclamation point. No, wait. Why is it not actually doing it? Alright. Colon. Hey, maybe I'm just bad. Oh, the following 4 commands may or may not be valid depending on your particular installation. That's funny. So it may not just be, it may not work on this system. Really bad demo. You can find some more though. I can add myself to another one. What are some other sudo ones? What other applications do we have on here? A binary list, right? Bin list? No. Okay, what about the mount command? That one's kind of fun. I've done that one in the past, and that one is pretty hilarious. Let's see if we've got mount. Okay, and let's see if we can do a bind mount. Yeah, bind a file. Okay. I think that would work. Let's do that. Let's give our user permissions to the bind command and see if we can demonstrate it with that one, because that one's kind of fun. Yep, exactly. And then once you find one that has, you know, the specifics that you need that you can access, then you can try to escalate with it. I've been mount. Yeah, it's the time clock. Yep. I was able to get some shells. Earlier I demonstrated the bind shell and the reverse shell. They still work. I can show you real quick. The netcat pickup. Where is it? Shell. Oh, it's not there. Okay. Oh my god. The netcat listen on port 1337, and then this time clock, it runs that that script every once in a while, and so it should reach out and give me a shell. So that was the first one that I got working, and then the second one that I got working was the socket. So this on the host or on the time clock, it's running a similar command with SOCAT and trying to serve a shell on port 4444. And so you can see that one's running right here. So if I just do .portal and run that command, it should connect to it. And so that's running through that one. So from there, I went and I changed the password for the root user and the RA user, and then logged in with SSH, which gives me kind of a nicer shell to work with. I've just been messing around and playing around with it. Just poking around and demonstrating some stuff. So we put that on there for the root user. Let's go ahead and log back in as our on-root user, and we'll see what we can do now. So sudo tac-l gives us. So now we can run mount. Run the mount command. And then what you can do with this one is you can bind a file to the command mount. I always thought this one was really funny, specifically because sudo allows us to run the mount command with super user or as root privileges. And so what we're going to do is we're going to bind the command mount, or bind this binary on the file system to a different binary on the file system. So if we run sudo mount and we do tac-o to specify a bind mount, we're going to do bin bash, and we're going to bind it to bin mount. And hopefully that works. So then, now that we've got bash bound to the bin mount path on our file system, we can run sudo mount again, and that should give us a shell as root. And so now you can see that we're root. And we're hanging out in the same folder that we were, but now we're running as root. I've always thought that one was really, really hilarious. I don't know why, just because you're like binding a different binary to the same binary that you have permission to run as sudo. So that's kind of an example of doing like a pseudo privilege escalation based on what you already have access to run. I always just figured that one was pretty goofy. Yeah, and just so you know, you can go out to GTFO bins .github.io, and they've got a whole list of these. You can specify with this pseudo filter. And so all of these other things, all these other binaries that are capable of this will be listed. So it's a very, very good resource if you're trying to like pen test a Linux system. So for example, if we were able to like get the password to a user account on this host, but we didn't have root access, we could try and poke around and find something like this to get root access to it. Yeah, exactly. It's really, really nice for privilege escalation. But the chances are, like, you have to have the host configured where you have access to that command. So doing, like, your sudo tac l will give you a list of all the commands that you can run. Oh, hey, look, there we go. We just popped our shell over here with our netcat listener. And we're just waiting for it to rerun that script that it runs every now and then. And I'm actually kind of curious what the cron tab looks like. No cron tab for root using an NT1. Oh, huh. Alright, we'll do that in SSH. User bin v no such file or directory. The editor equals okay, I guess there is no cron tab. Maybe cd etc cron? Yeah, cron tab or cron tab.daily. And so we can, I think, cat out these. See what it's doing the first, what it's doing on a regular basis. Static delay for cron. Curious what's in all of these. A daily log rotate command that gets ran. That's also fun too. Like, say for example, if this log rotate command was writable by a non-root user, so it's readable, writable, and executable by root, readable and executable by the root group, and then readable and executable by anyone on the system. So if this had the write flag right here, you could come in here and modify this log rotate, and then the next time it ran, it would be under the root user. You can stick your commands in there, which is pretty fun. This runs bin sh, runs sbin log rotate. That's interesting. Another thing we can check, let's go ahead and exit out of that. I want to get back into the not root user just to make sure that my permissions aren't messing with it. So let's do a find command across the system. Name is going to be anything.sh, and then we're going to exec lsla. Actually, I guess we could find permissions too. Let's see, perm. Is it O plus writable? Oops, directory. What? Yeah, exactly. So if cron has execution permission, yeah, you just add some random script in there with your non-root user, and then the next time that script runs, because it's owned by root and it gets ran as root because it's cron, it'll run your commands as root. So at that point, what you could do is then like set up your bind shell, like I demonstrated earlier, and that way that shell would be exposed as a root shell, and then connect to that, and then you have root access to the host. Let's see, where's my find command? I always gotta look up find permissions because they're confusing. One thing that we could do, actually, let's do, let me show you this. This is a pretty fun thing. And this is actually a great thing that, I don't know why I haven't thought about doing yet, but there's a script called linenum, which is like a Linux enumeration script. And we'll go ahead and run that, and that'll give us a lot of information about the host, regarding all of these suid bins and everything. Alright, so basically what it is it's just a really scary shell script that goes and automates all of this stuff that I've been manually doing for the past hour or so. So we will get this, and where are we going to stick it? Go to our tools, get clone, linenum. Alright, and then let's do scp root. Actually, let's do not root first, not root at 192.168.1.253, and we're going to stick it in our home directory. Or not? Hello? Oh, it's because I disconnected it. I'm dumb. It helps if the device is connected to the LAN, right? Yep, exactly. It looks for all the fun stuff that you can use for privilege escalation and everything else. So we'll go ahead and run that. linenum. Oh, oops, I probably need to spit it out into a... Let's do this. We need to spit the results out into a file. Results.txt. I'll just let that run. Yeah, so it does stuff like, goes in and looks for binary permissions and etcd, so we can look and see what these permissions are. We've got like, this host name is executable by everybody. Some other stuff in here. And like you can see, like these are readable. So if you were a non-root user and you saw that these scripts were readable, you could come in here and actually read them and see what they're doing and maybe discern something else about the system that would allow you to do a privilege escalation. So these are our listening UDP services, our listening TCP services. Here you can see our bind shell is running. Alt root, name servers, tab contents. Let's see, where did it pull this from? But we can see like run every 5 minutes. We've got S12 syslog ng check. We've got log rotate.conf that gets ran every 5 minutes. Wait, no, it's every hour divided by 5. Sorry, not every 5 minutes, but every hour divided by 5. Is it right? No, it says every 5 minutes. There's a cool resource called crontab guru that I always use when I'm trying to interpret those, because I get confused all the time. Oh, here we go. So we can see the That's root cron tab. Where is that at? etc cron tab? Yeah, see, look, it pulls up all of our shells that we can use. Path information. Yeah, this is our environment variables. Sometimes you can find some fun stuff in the environment variables. Look at this, we can read root's home directory. Isn't that fun? So we could go in there and we can read like the profile, the .vnc. And you could definitely find some stuff. Oh, we can sudo without supplying a password. That's interesting. Oh, does that mean that we can do it without a... Wow! Okay, hold on. Hold the fucking phone. Ba -ba 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 -ba. 253. So sudo su. Oh wait, it's okay. Yeah, they didn't ask me. Oh, it's probably because they just typed in my password. Okay. I'll mess with that later. It's still going through and collecting information from the host. It will take a bit. Let's look at the... Oh yeah, see, it looks like we've got some admin users. Group membership, users and groups, hostname, blah blah blah. Yeah, so this script is really, really nice. I think there's another one, is it linpeas or something? Or my, yeah, that's the privilege escalation one, linpeas. I guess that thing is going to take a little bit. So, while that's working, I wanted to mess around with the VNC on this thing. It says that it's got like a VNC server running. We do netstat t tap and look at our TCP ports. Or no, that's going to be UDP. Right? And just do the whole works. These are our SSH ports. That's our 9080. I thought there was supposed to be a 5900 going. Run our net nmap again. No, I guess not. What was the whole thing about VNC? Pass WD files root VNC pass. RAS config. Those are the config settings. Maybe that needs to be turned on, that VNC service. I mean, now that we're on the host, we can go mess around with the files. Let's see, watch on here. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's turned off by default. Let's I'll go ahead and see if I can do this without killing the thing. So we're gonna go into advanced. Oh no, I just killed it. Yeah, I really need to get that cable. I'm waiting for the actual power cable to get here for the thing. If you guys don't know, I've got a really janky setup going on to power this thing. You go get it. No? Okay. Yeah, this is the jank that I got going on. I got a couple of DuPont cables that I have shaved to fit in the Molex connector, so it's very jank. But it works, sort of. Oh, what time is it? Yeah, I think I might hop off for a bit and go get something to eat while it's doing, when it's boot up. I do want to come around and dig around more on the system. Oh, this isn't gonna finish. Damn it. Oh no, it will. It's running on the host. Or no, it died. We'll have to rerun it. That's okay. But yeah, I think I might take a break for now. I might hop back on in a couple hours after I eat. And yeah, start messing around with it some more, because I do want to get Doom working on it, but I feel like I have to cross compile a couple different libraries for ARM, and I'm not too sure how to do that yet because I've never done it before. So yeah, let me go eat. I'll do a little bit of research, and I'll hop on in a couple hours if you guys are still awake and down to hang out. So we'll do some more hacking on this thing and see what we can get from it. Thanks, Dalosu. Those of you that are new here, if you'd like, I do have a Discord. You're more than welcome to join it. It's completely free, and you can keep up to date for when I start streaming and whatever, or on stuff that I find on the side that's not related to a whole ass stream. So check the description, and you're welcome to join us there and hang out and talk about similar stuff or whatever. Doesn't really matter.